Salutations, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my live today. I wanted to make sure that I put on a bra so I could come before you and bring before you another special guest that goes by TV Tone, or is it TV Tony? But I will find out soon enough. So I just wanted to just make sure that I open my platform to so different walks of life, different perspectives, different concepts. I just wanted to leave a safe space for diversity. That is one of like the main goals of my channel. So my next guest, he is a sanitation technician. He's also a creative and a model. And so I want to dig deep into that, into his backstory, into where he is right now and where he's looking to go. So I just look forward to having this conversation with him. So once we get through this intro, we're gonna I'm gonna bring back up TV Tone for y'all. I'm coming up, I'm pressing on, I'm getting on, I'm coming up, I'm pressing on, I'm getting over it, TV Tone. Is TV Tone?
Yes, that's fine. Tone, TV Tone, yeah, my name is
Oh,
Anthony,
okay.
like
Uh,
the Tone,
Okay,
yeah.
I just want to make sure I had the right pronunciation. So I just, again, I want to thank you so very much for coming on my platform. But I want to ask you, I'm out of curiosity, what made you decide to agree to this?
Um, you know, I see you, you're doing something positive. I checked it out and I thought that's cool. That's something that I could be involved with, you know what I mean? So
Good, good. Okay, and I thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe, by the way.
yes.
You know, tell your people about me. All right. So, and so I also want to ask you, TV Tone, before we get into the nitty gritty of your life, I just wanted to know. I appreciate how professional and prompt you was with your response to me when I invited you to my platform. So let me ask you, Tone. So I want people from the back to hear this. Did it hurt you at all when you responded to me? Was this how easy was it for you to just see my message and express your interest and respond? How easy and quick was that?
It was very simple. I took a look at what you had. You asked me a question. I took a look at your page. I read through the history of what you've done and seeing different people you had on your platform and how you building your content. And I said, okay, cool. This is something positive, and you know what I mean. I responded immediately. I mean, I didn't know if you would be able to see it at that time or get back to it whenever, but that's how I am. That's how I handle business. You
Yes,
know,
please don't change. That's the,
yeah.
and I was making a point. I'm being sarcastic for a reason. I was making a point. Like, please don't change that because I just really wanted people to be aware of how quick and easy it is to just give a response to, especially when you express interest and how you didn't say you didn't give any excuses. You didn't string me along for a week and 2 weeks. You was responsive right away. You was like, okay, let's do this. I'm okay. And I put a date out there. Tone was like, okay, I'm available. Let's lock it in. Bam. That was it. And that was all.
it's
Here we
it's
are.
simple.
Thank you.
I feel
Thank
like
you, Tone.
a lot of time people overcomplicate things. It's unnecessary. And the faster you get to things and you get things done, the faster you get it out the way and you get move forward to other and new
Yeah,
opportunities.
opportunities, exactly. Thank you so much, Tone. I really appreciate that. Please let this be an example that I'm just all I'm asking is for common courtesy, especially if you actually responded to my invite. If I'm taking the time to reach out to you, reach back within a timely manner. That's all I'm saying. It's not such thing as being too busy or making excuses or stringing me along. You don't got to drag the process along. That's all I'm saying. Thank you, Tone, for just kind of setting that example. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. All
Uh,
right, but all
no
right,
problem.
so
Like in this day and age, like social media is the main source
yes,
of exposure. So
yes,
somebody I wouldn't say that's like up and coming. Yes, up and coming, but still like have time in the game where I'm outside and I'm active and I'm constantly moving around, looking to connect, network, and build what I'm doing. Any type of exposure especially positive exposure is great exposure, you know. So
Yes. Yeah,
you
and
know,
I'm really glad you mentioned that, Tone, because I tell like a few people that may not be too keen on social media, and I do understand that there's some demonic forces behind social media and everything. We understand that part, but but overall, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to putting yourself out there, the exposure, like you mentioned, there's no way around social media. There's no way around it. You have to use social media for that. There's no way around it. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. But I also wanted to let you know my mom has a little crush on you, by the way, because when she saw the flyer of this interview, she was like, "Oh, the TV told he's fine. He's kind of cute. He's cute." I was like, "Oh, okay, you like that, Bolikwa."
so
Yeah, see, he said hello, mom. He said hello. So when you look at this, he said hello. See? Yeah. So but yeah. So by the way, speaking of that, so were you born and raised in New York? You from New York, correct?
yes, I'm from Brooklyn. I was
Oh, okay.
yeah, I was raised in Brownsville, from
Brownsville.
Buffalo Projects, and I lived there till about like about maybe like 12, 13, probably like 1995, 96, and then we
No,
moved up. Mom rented an apartment. Moved to like a nice area at that time, it was like Canarsie. We stayed there. I say a short period of time, maybe like a year and a half, 2 years, and then my mom purchased a home back in East New York, like 5 blocks away from my projects. And I
oh, okay.
half in Brownsville, little time in Canarsie, and half, my life in East New York. That's where I'm from, and that's where I still reside. Even though I've like moved around, I got
Got you.
when I was young. I lived in Chicago for about 2 years, LA for a
Oh,
year.
really?
Yeah, really, when I had the opportunity, just when you're young and you got a little bit of freedom, um,
Yes.
I went out to move and just
Right.
experience
Just
and see
experience. Right. Yeah.
different
Just
things.
explore. Right.
But
But you've been in Brooklyn for you've been in Brooklyn for throughout your life. Like all your life, you've been in Brooklyn.
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, there's no place like home. That's the conclusion I came to, especially when you talk about New York accessibility. Anything you want to get into, any type of whether it's a hobby, a profession, a network, a community, you can find it here. So a lot of the things that I was into most of my life and all my life, I mean, I was able to connect with people in other places, but I don't know. I'm just like a city kid. I grew up, as early as I could, jump on the bus, ride the train, get out of, my environment and move and be in different places around different people. That was very easy to do being in New York City. And then when I went to like different cities, like I said, I would always find my way around to like, people around the things that I like to do, around the people that do the things I like to do. But it was a little less accessible.
Got you.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, but so I'm gonna get more into that because I do want to explore that, the accessibility and how you worked your way around those networks. So I definitely want to get into that, Tone. But before that, I want to get more into your background, your upbringing. I mean, you from Brooklyn, I'm from the Bronx. So we are familiar, like you say, Brownsville. I was raised in Morris Heights. I don't know if how familiar you are with the Bronx. I was raised in Morris Heights most of my life. So we kind of get we have a lot of a multipot, going on where we
Yes.
were from. We so was exposed to so many different walks, so many different cultures, so many
Right.
different backgrounds and belief systems, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
what? So you said you was in the projects. You came from that atmosphere. So where did it start with you? You said was your mom a single mom? Was it a two-parent household, siblings, a house full of cousins like mine was, where you had to put your name on stuff and and not make sure nobody eats the last of this and make sure go to school on time and like how was that for you?
Well, my mom had me when she was a little older. There was like a large gap between my siblings and I. So even though
Oh,
I'm the last of four, I was pretty much raised somewhat like an only child, and my siblings,
they were already
um,
older.
yeah, my closest brother to me, I believe, is like 21, 22 years older than me. So
Wow, wow, yeah, you sound like a oops baby. Were you oops baby?
kinda, yeah, and my mom,
I'm just messing with you, Tony. I know.
started really young with them, and I think it was a different upbringing. She was young and single, and they struggle a lot. And I mean, I listen. Like I was raised in the project, so it wasn't like we went through our stuff too. But I think by the time my mom had me, she already was, as I was going to kindergarten, she was entering back into college and working towards her master's and elevating her.
Nice.
So it's kind of like, even though it was like, obviously she's my mom, I'm her son, there's a big age gap. It's kind of like we were kind of like going through a similar process and learning and, you know,
Yes.
and elevating and developing.
True.
And I was there to be able to see my mom taking those steps. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot from that, because the product of her going to school and the purpose of her going to school, she was already setting a career, but it was necessary for her to be able to advance and elevate, which was already waiting for her. They just told her, like, you need a degree and then you can move from doing this to this. And so I saw my mom, advance herself, how do you say, like, academically, which then she applied into her career path and professionally. And I guess I saw how that kind of like translated, and it taught me a lot about, you know learning, education, the importance of it, um discipline, work ethic,
Yes. Yes.
consistency, and how to deal with people. Because at the end of the day, my mom, her being a boss or whatever, had to deal with a bunch of different type of personalities and people, and manage, work.
Yes.
So I experienced a lot of that, and learned, you know, very early what those things were, and not really at the time understanding, but later how I would apply those type of skills into, what I do.
Got you. And so I see that, she set the example. So I want to go back to that because that is so commendable, that story that you gave about your mom. That was really commendable because just being just judging by that age gap, was it a point where when your mom decided to advance in her education in order for her to advance in her profession? So your siblings the ones that helped in raising you as well? Were you spoiled?
No, I don't think I was spoiled. I think they would think so, based on them being together and being raised together and having to, like you said, share things and write your name on things, or maybe there not be
Hmm.
enough,
Hmm.
the situation. So maybe I think they would think I was spoiled, but I don't think I was, because I think of the way my mom raised me. It was always like work first, then play, and you have to earn things. So um in the home there was always that kind of that mentality and that ideology. So I mean, I was very young. Just, I remember just being like, my first job, I was 12 years old. I wandered off on the Picking Avenue and just looking
Hmm.
at all the stores, asking people if, like, there was work. I mean, obviously I'm too young, but I did get me a job at a pizzeria with scooping ices. So
So what made you decide? What made you think? Well, I mean, at that age, at 12 years old, what made you feel like you had to? Did you feel like you had to do it or you wanted to? Like, what made you had that desire to decide to want to work? It's, well, you were still in school at the time, I hope.
yeah, of course, 12. I was 12,
Okay. Yeah,
but
12. Yeah.
but
But no, I mean, 12, you know how it is, Tone. They kids skip school. But yeah, I was just that's what I'm asking. Like, what made you feel like you had to work at that time?
I grew up in the crack era, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, even though it's like, it was like we were okay, but we lived in a very urban and impoverished place. Came from, but then there was also this other, you know, end of the spectrum and dynamic of where you see, especially like men. You know,
Yes.
men, nice clothes, jewelry, cars.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really understand uh what all of that came out of and came from, but
Yes.
I would think to myself, like, like, how does one get, like, achieve these type of things? Because these things that caught my attention as a child, as a kid, like, oh wow, you know um and I just think to myself, like, wow. So I guess it's like, you have to work, you have to make money, and that's what makes you a man, or
Who
like
taught you that? But how did you
no,
come up with that conclusion?
it was just instinctual. Because
Oh, okay.
see the guys with the money, they
Right.
surround women, they wearing jewelry shining, drive a nice car, the car is nice and shiny, the paint is new,
Mm-hmm.
clothes look good, the shoes look good, it's a name brand, it's, people around them. They may even be having money, flashing money, and then you go to the store and it's like mom say, no, I want that sneaker, and it's like, no, you could get this one, you
Got
know.
you.
Um, and then my mom tell me, oh, you could get that when you work, you know,
Got you.
get anything you want when you work for it. So I got the idea fast in my head that I need to work to earn money, and yeah, I just tried my best to do that as soon as I thought about that.
All right. So you said that your first job was you said you was serving ices at the pizzeria?
But niceties at the pizzeria.
Wow. Oh, those ices, boy.
That
Yes.
got electrocuted.
What happened? What?
Well, I don't know. The refrigerator went out. I went to go check the outlet. I was like playing with the plug, and it exploded. I got electrocuted. They were like trying to wake me up. Pizza owner, shop owner was like, "Yo, listen, kid." I'm like, "Yo, I'm gonna come back tomorrow." He's like, "Nah, don't worry about it." He pulled some money out the register. Just get.
Like, yeah, yeah, no, that gets your last day, no, because you're a liability now. You
And
became a liability. You
I,
can't.
I felt so bad. I almost cried, and I went and
Oh,
I told my mom, I was like, "Yo, they told me not to come back to the pizzeria. I think I got fired." You know. Um, and then my mom hired me in the office to like do some paperwork or something like that. To
and
sure.
now when was that? What age was that?
Same age. It was
Same age?
yeah. It was probably like a month, maybe a little over a month working in the pizzeria.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. And so now, just so now you starting to build your resume at age of 12. So you said you started working with your mom, and so you continue to follow the examples of your mom and those around you that earn their keep, they earn their way, and they got their hustle on in different ways. So you
right.
kind of learned to develop that. So how was it like balancing that in between school? Because we're talking about elementary, junior high. Like, how was that? How was you managing at school?
Yeah, school for me was real easy. You
It was
know,
easy.
yeah, like very easy.
How
Like
so?
like just I don't know. I was that's just some.
You was a good student.
Yeah, I can't question it, or I can't tell you why. I just
Hmm.
maybe it's my tendency to just like pay attention to things, and I
Okay.
stay involved. So like that, I think that's one thing that kind of helped me. I stay involved in the class. Like, I didn't always maybe do my homework or like study the most, but I always like be involved in discussions. So I'd ask questions. Whenever the teacher would say something, oh, well, why is it like this, or what does this mean? So I stay active like that, and I
Okay.
would help me recall things in my memory. So when I took the test, because I would have a certain instance where I have a conversation with the teacher and he spoke to me directly, I'll be able to like know most of the information. And school was very simple. I was very aware and conscious.
Oh, so were you involved in any extracurricular activities? Were you popular in school at that time, like junior elementary?
Now I was the clown.
He was a clown. Okay.
I used to like to joke
Hmm.
around and laugh around too. Because I guess like school was so easy. I get bored.
Got you.
Yeah, I get bored.
He wasn't challenged enough.
Yeah, and that allowed me to you know, divert energy into other places.
Got you. And what was the other places?
Just like creative stuff. Like I didn't have to worry about studying too much. Um, so I would really put my focus on the things that interest me.
Like,
Music. Like my brothers, they was DJs, both of them from the '70s. So when I was born, there was always music in the house, the records, equipment. Learning how to use those things and uh, connect and plug those things in. What this, and what does what that does, and
okay. Tone just went out. I don't know. He must have a phone call. So let me just talk to y'all until he comes back. He might have had a phone call or something. But yeah, this is I'm enjoying this so far. This is really, relatable to me, being I'm from, New York City as well. So it's great to hear about his story so far and how he decided at an early age that he wanted to earn his way and he wanted to kind of get more of a grasp on the reality of having to work to get what you want or having to work to just make ends and to understanding um, the end justifying the means, so to speak. So we're going to get we're getting more into his how balancing his academics um, and his work. He'll be back. He'll I guess he's going out and coming back in, so he'll be back. So we getting into he's mentioned about how he was able to do get by in schooling because he did pretty well academically to the point where he didn't feel challenged enough because sometimes growing up in the board of ed in the public school system, you know how that could be sometimes where you might some students might be more isolated than others because when you have overcrowded classes or when you have such a teachers have such a workload to where they're not able to get um, a lot of attention to some students than others. So, um, but I'm just glad that he was able to kind of get through that process, get through that pivotal point in his life to where he was able to balance it and able to excel and do well, and he was able to focus his attention on more positive, creative stuff like music, and not illegal activities. So I do commend him for that. Instead of get into um, certain activities to occupy his time, he used music to do that. So when he gets back on, I want to get more into that. How he went from like assisting his brothers and elders who were DJing at different events and assisting them and setting up and being exposed to and surrounded by all different types of music and how that catapulted him into getting more into that in his adult years. So I'm really glad that he's able to provide that. Let me see. He just left me a message. Let me see what he's saying here. All right. So let me just give me one moment. Let me um, yeah, I was just, communicating with him now. He's trying to get back into the studio now. So I'm trying to help him out here. So just bear with us, please. You know how these things go. So hopefully he'll be back on real soon. But in the meantime, I just want to thank you guys so much for coming in. Those who are in the bushes, those who are watching, those who clicking, and decide to not stay too long, but just stop through, just stopping by, passing by. Um, those who are those who decide to watch the replay, I thank you in advance for that. Just make sure that you thumbs up the video, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Um, I appreciate the support that I've been getting so far. Shout out to all of you, to those of you that continue to encourage me as I go through this journey on here. I do appreciate um, those who have come on to talk to me so far, who's more experienced in this content creation phenomenon. Those who have been pouring into me and encouraging me to just keep going and to continue to do what I'm doing, and don't be discouraged by the numbers. Don't be discouraged by those who may not um, agree to come on the platform, because your platform is not going to be for everyone. And I mentioned that before, that I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine. Um, let me see. So let me see if I can get him back on here. He's trying, you guys. He's trying. He's trying. He's trying to get back on. StreamYard won't let us be great. The devil is a liar. He's really trying to get back on, but for some reason, it's not allowing him to. Um, I just sent them the link again. Hopefully, it works. Um, 'Cause I pay too much for my subscription for it not to. So let's just hope it works this time. I just resent him the link, so hopefully he'll be back on. Because I know, like, sometimes I don't know whether he got a call, or he just got kicked off for whatever other reason. But let's see if he's able to get back in. Okay. But like I said, I just think all of the people that I interviewed with so far that agreed um to do this with me, I do appreciate it. And so we got him back. All right, you got him back. There he is. There he is.
Little technical difficulties. I'm
Yeah,
sorry
it
about that.
happens. It
We back
happens. It's not.
again.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, do you have me open like another tab or something? 'Cause I'm hearing some feedback. Do you have me on another window open or something?
Possibly. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me see.
And make put your phone on do not disturb tone. I don't know if you got a phone call or not, but just in case, if you could put your phone on do not disturb,
Okay, I'm gonna do that right now.
yeah, that would
Focus.
help.
Do not disturb. How is the audio sounding now?
The audio is fine. Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay, great. Yeah,
Yeah,
like I
thank
was
you.
saying, my interest lied more so like in the creative realm and aspect, and like what I had available to me in the house was music. Um, so by the time around the same age, really, I'll say like by 10, I got very interested. 9, 10, and just started out with the basics. First my brothers and them didn't want me touching equipment. Cause that stuff costs money. Again, see what I'm
Right.
saying? That led to, okay, this costs money. You don't, you know what I'm saying? It's not a
Yes.
toy. You know,
Yes.
and the things that I like, the influence things I was influenced by, and the example that was there for me, um and what I knew about those things, like I wanted and I aspired to achieve early on, and what attracted me, what interested me. I know I needed money, because these things was expensive. how,
Yes.
how do I afford all this stuff? How can I do it on my own without
Yeah.
having to,
So, oh,
yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
without having to depend on the next person.
Got
Yeah.
it. No, I was going to ask you, being that you said that you grew up listening to all types of music, and your brothers were DJing at the time. What type of music were you listening to? Were you exposed to?
They started their collection, by taking my mom's records. So that goes back as early as, like, I want to say probably like the 50s and 60s, doo-wop, soul, um,
Mm-hmm.
early funk stuff, and you know, those type of music, and then also into their era, which was the 70s and 80s, which is you know more funk inspired disco, contemporary R&B. You know, and then also we Latin, you know what I'm saying? So, you know,
Yes.
a lot of salsa, you know, merengue, and all different other type of, you know, those type of genres. You can say that, and what we know, maybe the classic stuff, but there's, you know, even the history of that that goes even further back, where the sound of that stuff was different. Maybe like what they call jibaro or típico jibaro music, which is like folk, like original
Oh,
folk Puerto
okay,
Rican music,
got it.
stuff like that. You know, like so
Okay.
all of this stuff. Plus, you know, you got to think like so. You know, I'm born in the '80s, raised in the '90s. I'm also living in a very urban area and
Yes.
exposed to not just the hip hop music, but the culture. You know, um, the way people dress, the hairstyles,
Yes.
the lingo, the slang, the music that had all of that stuff in it, and the music videos and some of the earliest um thing I remember watching on TV was like Slick Rick, you know, like not
Mm-mm.
children's story, like the video
Yes.
Black and not understanding exactly what it was. Um,
Mm.
is this old? I'm, you know, I'm saying I'm like a child, so I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is old, or you know, because black and white. And I guess they filmed it like that, so I don't know. So I'm thinking it's old or is it new? But he dressed very unique and as a central character with the eye patch. It was almost like a
Yes.
cartoon, you know what I'm saying? The jury, the gold teeth, all these type of things, you know, and then the music and the beat, all that stuff kind of took my attention and stuff, you know. So before I even know what it is, I'm being kind of like, you know, in my room and watching TV and I'm seeing these things and I'm kind of being pulled in and attracted, you know, by this type of stuff. And then living in an urban area where I'm seeing all the young, you know, up and coming people, you know, I'm from Brownsville, so it's like the low lives, you know what I'm saying? As coaches happen and nobody knows exactly what that is. Later they coined the term and, you know, created it like the group and like, you know, they go and do the backstory and all this history, but as it's happening, nobody knows that's what this is. The only thing I saw was groups of young guys wearing color black clothing, and it's no wonder why I like polo and like you can see, you know what I mean, like the way I match the clothes and stuff. All of this stuff is in my environment, and I'm soaking it
Yes.
up at the time. You know what I mean? So there was a lot of influence, you know. So when we say like music is not, there was music in the home and many different kind of musics in the home. There was also equipment and my brothers, you know, having the skill sets and me seeing that. And then, but then there was also the environment that was also attached to a current music that I
Yes.
was be exposed to. You know,
Yes.
you hear
And
it
we was
outside,
yes.
cars out the windows. You know,
Yes. Block
what,
parties. Mhm.
yes, yes.
Yes. Oh goodness. Wow. You really taking me home, Tona. Thank you for that. Yeah. You just really taking me home. Yeah. Because I moved to Atlanta like 8 years ago. So yeah, thank you for bringing me. The nostalgia. I appreciate it. Yeah.
And
So now,
the type of things I think of, like when I said I moved away, and there's like very nice to see other people culture and
yes,
live and stuff like that. But there's nothing like I feel like New York and like especially the way that I came up. You know what I mean?
absolutely. And
Yeah.
I would never take that away because I always tell people, well, even though I don't see myself moving back to New York, but I still feel like it's a great place to visit. I always encourage people to visit New York, if you can. And New York is always in me, no matter where I go, no matter what I do in life. New York is always going to be in me. It's always home for me. I mean, but when I move back, I don't think so. But I just appreciate being able to, just all your stories are resonating with me. So I appreciate that. Yes. So I just want to ask you, what high school did you go to?
I went to first East Brooklyn Church to try it. They started out. It was it's like a new school, but it was so, you know, my mom was involved with the community, so it was like a bunch of different people, I guess, churches and social workers and these different kind of
Oh,
community
mm,
things. Started the school that was by Broadway Junction. So I went for a summer session to check it out. They were trying to promote it to me. We were to be the first class, but it was so small I didn't like it, and I wanted to check out other schools. So I think I went to go see some private schools. I think it was like St. Edmunds. I forget the other one. Maybe like Zavarian. I ain't like that. It was like all boys. And then I went to Christ the King, and when I went there, I saw that it was huge. It was down in the valley. You have to like take these steps to go down, and it was like
Mm,
took up the whole place, almost like a college campus. And I came from regular like just being in a small building, and I was like, nah, this is it. I think I like to come here. So I attended Christ the King High School,
Christ the King High School. Okay.
graduated
And
from, yeah, but
so
still with
what
my
was it like there? Oh, you still oh, that's your ring. Oh, okay. That's your singing ring. Ah. Yeah, so how what was it like there? Like, did you get were you more popular there? Were you still the class clown? Did you get into activities? Were you more into the music scene at that time? Balanced it all out? 'Cause,
school wasn't my thing. Like I'm not
mm,
gonna lie to you. I mean, I
right.
did well. I believe that I was gifted. And that's why I said I can't question it. I don't know. Like this is the thing I used to have. Like I just like fall behind a little bit because I had to like really look at things, and it has to kind of like click, and it's like a ratio that happens in my brain. That once my brain figures out exactly how, like you can tell me how to do it, and you can show me these steps, but that doesn't always work. Then once I figure out how to do it, like my mom never let me use a calculator, like when we were learning all that stuff.
Mm,
So everything's a lot of things were mental. Even like when I write music, I don't write it down. I go more by feeling. Like it's a lot of mental stuff, and then I realized as I got older that even the way I see numbers and sounds is more visual, almost like
okay.
graphic, like you know what I mean.
Right.
So that I didn't realize at that age, but I could see math and do mental math like this, and then people look at me like, yeah, right, and then they use a calculator and do it and be like, oh, like when I was a senior, like I did the. I mean, no, I think I might have been a junior because I'm not sure if I took math. I think I already finished and I didn't have to take it.
I wish that was the case for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I already finished it in like by junior year, and at my final, my teacher asked, he pulled me to the side after we did the final, and he asked me if I cheated. He asked me if I found the key.
Wow, what?
I asked him why would he say that, um, and he was like, well, he's like the only reason I asked is because you got a perfect score, and I was like, no, I didn't. I got a 90, whatever it was, a 97, something like that.
Wow.
He was like, no, you got everything right, even the extra credit. I just took the 13 points off because you didn't show any work. How did you get the answers without showing work? I did it all in my
Wow.
head.
And so and then the first conclusion that they came up with is that you cheated,
That
like, not not they didn't run across his mind that you just had this gift, it was just they
I
just
mean, to me, I wouldn't like I didn't even associate it as a gift. I just saw it as like like I just think about it and do it.
it's a gift, trust me. It's
Yeah,
isn't it is.
yeah. And yeah. He thought not. I told him no, no way. I did it mentally. And I never like to me that is like a whole mess. It's confusing. Like when you use scrap paper and the whole scrap paper is filled up with all these numbers, then I start to see too many numbers, and it gets
Yes.
overwhelming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's overstimulated.
yeah, it's too much.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah, I hear you.
never like that. I never liked that. My brain always figured out ways how to work with the numbers, and I would see them.
And so at that point, so did he believe you at that point? Did he make you take any test again or just to prove yourself? Did he do that or anything? Or he just believed
Nah,
that you were at
he just took my word for it.
okay.
He
Okay.
asked me if I went in his desk and took the key, and I told him no.
Wow.
Oh, you know,
Yes. So
I
did you I'm sorry.
go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you so you advanced in math and then you took, all the class you needed to take to graduate. Um, were you in the honor roll and all that good stuff?
I'd hit it sometimes, you know what I'm saying, but it wasn't really my focus, unless my mom came down. Like I'm telling you, like I would think I was like in the sixth grade or something like that, seventh grade, and I think I got like a 75. I didn't even fail, and my mom made me go to summer school for the class.
Wow. Oh,
Um,
she
and
wasn't playing.
yeah, and I knew at that time after that, I knew that I can't bring anything home less than an 80, 85. You know what I mean?
Mm,
I just got smarter, like you know what I mean.
got you. And that's the one with that. As you know, and I really commend your mom as a parent, but and I do understand how you don't want to settle for mediocre. And I think that's what she wanted to instill in you, not to settle. But at the same time, did you feel any pressure at all at times to do well and to make sure that you exceeded academically? Did you feel any pressure at all?
Nah, um,
No.
that was the norm. And when you being programmed and you developing, and that's what you see. Like my mom really excelled. Like that's what I'm telling you. I saw her from an early age. I be doing my little first homeworks, and she'd be writing thesis. Like
Mm,
you understand, and like to the point where she'd be in her room reading books, thick books and stuff, and doing all this, and I fall asleep. That's how I fall asleep with her. Like. So I'm
wow.
used to her being in the books, and like I'm telling you, she wrote like the master's degree. That's not a game.
It's
So
not no.
I'm in kindergarten, first grade, and I'm seeing this is what I'm seeing. So I'm already kind of used to this is already the example that's set. Like it's a higher bar.
Yes, yes.
Like I said, my mom excelled was excelling in the point in life where I was developing, and at like in early childhood. So it was normalized, and the expectation. Maybe it's rough, but or tough, but it wasn't unrealistic.
Right. It wasn't impossible for you
It
to
was
achieve.
it wasn't unrealistic, and like I said, if I allowed myself to slip, then I just had to become smarter, so that way I could do what I need to do and be able to do everything else that I wanted to do.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, I
Because
like that mindset. I
like
do
I
like
said,
that. Yeah.
like I said, it was work before play.
Yes.
Only play if the work was done, and that
Yes.
that was academic, and it was also chores in the home and things like that. And
Got it.
I was given allowance, so these are the first things where I learned about. Oh, you got to work for money, and you get a little bit of money. But then when you actually earn the money and you learn the value of the money, and then you try to buy something with $3 and you can't because it costs $10 or $20,
Mhm.
$30, then you're like, wow, I got to work a whole lot more. So all this, that's why I said I was very aware and conscious of with these kind of like real life concepts.
Yes.
And early on, I was really, trying to do it. And I'm not trying to influence anybody or tell anybody don't focus on school. Um, I did well in school, well enough. But it wasn't my area of focus, and I always kind of wanted to just get it out the way because I felt like that was the main obstacle standing in between what I really wanted to do in life. Whatever I thought that was when I was young, which actually some of those things I still do today. So you know, I feel like I've been blessed in that way because most people, not to say they never find a purpose, but they never really connect with self on that level and understand self at that where it is a part of who you are and knowing what you like to do and what fulfills you and makes you whole as a person, and it's a very big part of the identity. I was very
Yes.
blessed to have those things around me, not only those things but those people to mentor me, teach me, guide me, direct me, show me, and for me to take to it, like it was just a natural thing. I feel like I was born um in a specific time and place, space, around a specific group of people.
Yeah, so because I know you mentioned about you was you wanted, you knew that school, getting your education was required, like a prerequisite towards what your overall objective was. Because I know you said that you wanted to just get through the school. I know this is not something that it's not. It's not. Oh, it's a good, it's always it's not pleasing to me, but this is something I have to do to go get to the overall purpose. So you knew early on what your purpose was. Is that it? Did you know at that time?
I would
Early on.
I would think so because I'm still doing those things today. Yeah,
Good. Okay.
yeah.
And so I want to get to those things. Now, once you got out of high school, what was next for you at that time?
Well, I was kind of cruising. I went to college, but I'll say like, and that's what you asked me if I was involved in extracurricular in school. Um,
Mm-hmm.
nah, I wasn't because uh, I tried sports and I didn't. I mean, I love to go to sporting events and I love the live experience. Like it reminds me of what I do and what I love about what I do, where there's crowd participation and you feel the energy and there's excitement and it's so many of these things that when you like I don't follow sports though, so it's like I can't sit at the TV and watch people throw a ball back and forth, but that doesn't entertain
It
me.
doesn't. It's
I
right. Me either.
I like to be in the environment and feel it.
Yes.
So yeah, and so early on it was maybe, oh, my friends want to be on the team, so I'll try it out, but it didn't work. Organized sports didn't work for me. I didn't like the
Got
fact
you.
that you had to be, my mom always told me don't be like everybody else, don't follow the crowd, like, what I'm saying, and I don't know, like something with the uniforms and you have to specifically stay in place in line, and not to say
Right.
I couldn't follow rules, but I didn't like that.
The
It was,
structure.
yeah, it was too much. Like I said, I wanted to be creative, do my own thing, unique. You know what I mean? And DJing offered me that. And at like when I was like, my brother was bringing me at the same time. I was learning how to DJ and becoming very interested in DJing. He got a job at the Empire Roller Rink in Brooklyn, and so
Ah.
because of that, I would go every weekend. And I liked being physically active, like roller skating allowed me to do that. But then it was like with like, music and stuff that I connected with, and like, you know what I mean? And there were DJs there, and my brothers were friends with DJs, and I would get to meet the DJs, and they give me records, and I get to see them playing on a state of the art sound system, something that you probably only see on TV or in a magazine.
Mm.
So these things kind of like exploded my mind in a way where and then it became almost normalized, where it's something that's so outrageous and unfathomable and unreachable, but then it's there right in front of my face, and
It's
the person,
right there. Got you.
my friend, and operating it and like, yeah, here, come here, try, you know. And so that really exploded my mind and my mindset. And like I said, I didn't realize that at that time, but now looking back now, I know, you know it was that's why I said I was born in a time and a place and a space and around people that kind of like groomed me, and what I'm saying, taught me the way. And I, I really feel like it was a maybe like a predetermined or destined path, and yeah, like a purpose. I was already like ushered in, what I mean, of
Yes.
all of this stuff. And at I mean, the first time I like actually used equipment at the Empire might have been like 13. One of the DJs, Big Bob, a mentor of mine. One night we hanging out after the session finished. We used to hang out in the DJ booth with these guys. They like 3 times my age, maybe 4 times my age at the time.
Got it.
I'm just
So
like,
what was which can you give me some can you name some of the DJs that inspire you throughout the years? Some of the DJs?
yeah, sure. All the Empire DJs, all the old school Empire DJs for sure. Big Bob, Sting International, his cousin DJ Tory. And by the time I got the job there at 15, it was my first professional. Um,
Mm.
I was a resident at the Empire for about 8 years, from when I was
Wow.
till I was almost 23, or 22 and a half. And DJ Q, I played alongside DJ Q's, like, at that time was probably like twice my age, at least, you know, 12, 15 years older than me. But yeah,
Mhm,
I
mhm.
watch him and I see him, and he played different sessions than I played, but I'd always just look at the older guys, like I told you, see what they doing and how I could be better, and try to, I wouldn't say copy, but just put myself in the position to where I could work.
Yes, and you put yourself there, and I just really, just like I said, I'm hoping that people, whether they're watching live right now or replay, I just really hope that there are people out there that understand the grind of it all, understand how you're motivated by your purpose and how you were able. Because not everyone is blessed to have that, to be able to understand the purpose and be motivated by it and aspire to do it and continue. And continue to work towards it. So I just really commend you for that. I really, can't do nothing but respect it. So
Thank you.
yeah, yeah, of course, of course. Now I just wanted to know because at the time, you're doing the DJing early, so early on, and you balancing school as well. Like I said, very commendable. But at the same time, once you got older, you became an adult and you were DJing and you still perfecting your craft, you still had to work. You had to do a regular job, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before I really got me, I spent so much time. I went to, like, so there was high school and then there was college. I dropped out of college. It was a lot more freedom in college.
Mm.
And it wasn't holding my attention.
Yeah, it's not for everyone.
Yeah, and also too, in high school, like I said, I wasn't popular. And not to say it like that, it's crazy, because there was a turning point, because I remember, I'm telling you, like, so I'm 15, so I'm probably
Mhm.
like in the 10th grade, and I have a job at, like, one of the most popping places in the city. And so I'm going to this place at the skating rink, by myself. I'm already
Mm,
like I'm already like I'm living a double life.
yes,
Regular high school kid, and then I'm like a DJ at the most poppinest place that the kids could go in the city. And then so in high school it's like a lot of cliques, and you got the jocks, and you got the trench coat mafia, the gothic kids, and all of this. They all different kind of cliques. So
mhm,
I knew who I knew based off of, like, we ride the train home together, maybe live in the neighborhood or stop along the way. So we kind of like knew each other, but I think it was too early for people to actually, like, the Empire wasn't a place that your parents just let you go to. So
right,
until people came like 16, almost 17, almost graduating, like I say, at the end of junior year, where they would go in groups then to go to the skating rink, and then, or somebody came with their mom on a
mhm,
go to somebody's birthday party, and then they saw me DJing. Then they started to whisper in the school, like, yo, I saw him over there at the skating rink
of course.
DJ. Like, what? Like, this is stuff that I wouldn't even really tell people, because I just mind my own business. I do the life.
Right. You were
You know,
moonlighting at
I
that time.
I
Yeah.
cut out. I cut
Mhm,
out. That's it. If I had a
mhm,
girlfriend, maybe I just mess with the girl at the time, and then like, what I mean. I'm not really, hey, what's up? I see you when I see you. You know what I mean? I'm already, like I said, I was living a whole nother life outside of school. I was already way advanced. My friends were in their 30s and 40s. Like, you got to remember, my siblings are, there's a 20-year
Get
gap.
it? Right, they're grown, right. Mhm.
So my friends are their friends.
Right, right,
You know, I did have friends in high school and, like, my age, peers and stuff like that. But yeah, I was already like way advanced. And that's why I said I had to figure I had to be smarter. And I was just doing different things, and they didn't realize it. So I didn't care about being in the cliques and being
right.
like, okay, so what? You the star player? Okay, cool. That's amazing. You work for that. You know what I mean? I'm in the real world. I'm a star player. I knew, I knew it. Early,
Yes, yes.
and but just humble about it. You know what I mean? I just knew where my focus lied, and it wasn't in the environment of school, not academically and not socially, because I was already social on another level.
Yeah, you was yeah, social on another level. I like that.
Yeah,
And so, but you was okay. So speaking of that, you say you were social on another level, and it was like kind of like you had to kind of bridge the gap in between interacting with the ones that inspired you, the older generation before
yes.
you that you was inspired by, and that you gotten tools from, and they instilled so much in you, and then you had to kind of blend that, kind of not so much blend in, because you said you isolated yourself as well, but at the same time, how did you build social skills? Because it had to come from somewhere. It was somewhere in the middle.
I mean, it starts at home. I think, like my like I said, my brothers were DJs, so there was a lot of, even though they weren't like so active because they came out of the 70s and 80s. By the 90s, they were just kind of like having their families and stuff like that. They would still have house parties, and we had a big family, a lot of cousins and a lot of aunts and people married and through marriage, and we have a good time, and it'd be so many of us. And my cousins, they would bring their girlfriends, and it was just a lot of, like, what I mean. I was in school. The school I went to was a huge school. There was 1,000 kids in my class alone, in my class. Now, when you talk about the whole high school, just 3 to 4 thousand kids at the Empire.
Wow.
At the Empire,
Yeah.
I used to DJ every weekend during the school year and during the summer, all week, 7 days a week. And there was minimum 5 to 800 people. I was doing
Wow.
for crowds, thousands of people, 1,500 normal, like on a nice
Yeah, that's a
on a
lot.
1,500, 2,000 people. On a special event like Easter, 3,000 people, no more skate,
Mm,
packed. I was always around people constantly. They coming up to the DJ booth, whether they coming to say hi, they want to meet you, they want to request a record. I had to multitask and play, keep the music playing, and trust me, the Empire is not an easy place. It was worth
right.
Apollo. If and I wasn't just given the position. That's what I want to say right now. I wasn't, because my brother knew people. My brother's friends called my brother and said, "Hey, we doing tryouts. You should bring your brother." So I came.
Mm.
There was guys twice my
So
age.
you proved yourself.
There's a line of 30 DJs that when they got up
Hmm.
in the booth. Remember, I told you prior to this, I'm 12 years old. The first time they allowed me to like touch the equipment and showed me what the equipment was. Grown DJs, 30 years old, 35 years old, was coming up into the booth and saying, "Where's the mixer?" Because they use rotary mixers, not the
Hmm.
slide. Where's the mixer? It's like right there. Never seen that before ever. So they like putting it on, getting nervous. People are skating up. This is live in the session. Like, yo, get them out of here. Boo, they come to the front of the thing, booing you. Like I said, it wasn't an easy place. So I had to learn how to multitask, keep the music going. I learned presence, what I'm saying, crowd control, where I had to be on the mic talking to people. Welcome to the Empire.
Right.
So you grab your skates in the front, lock your stuff up in the lockers in the back. We're not responsible for your lost or stolen items. No food or drinks on the skate floor. Remain skating in the same direction all times. We want to make sure we have a good time. We can't have a good time. We don't want anybody getting hurt. I had to learn all of this and develop all of this at a very, very, very young age. This is all
Wow.
helped me be socially advanced. I had to
Got
be,
it.
I wouldn't even
Okay.
say outgoing, but I had to be open enough to be able to handle this, and I couldn't be timid.
Yeah. Oh no, you had, yeah, right. Because you did, because he had to respect you. They had to, you had to be stern enough to say you okay, because you had to be taken seriously.
Right, and
Yeah.
and all of this was on the fly, and you have to be like, not only like you said, stern enough, but you have to be open enough. And yeah, you have to be open up, and even to take the criticism, because people will come after the session, people will tell you, "Yo, that was dope, that was great," or people be like, "Yo, you could have done better. Like, I ain't really like when you." So it's like, I learned a lot as like on the job, like in real time, you know,
Yes. Yes.
from
Yeah.
the
So
crowd that I was working for, like the community, the
yeah,
yes.
community, the community. Yeah, so I could hear the passion in your voice even when you speak on it. You telling the stories and you just giving the backstory. I can hear the passion about in your voice about it. Yeah, so I think that's so cool.
That was, thank you. That was a time, that was a place, and I think, like, like as I was doing it, it was just something that I really loved and I enjoyed doing, and still to this day I do. I didn't realize how important it was, and I didn't realize how legendary or how much of a legacy, you know what I'm saying, to be part of that at that time in that era. There's no more empire. Then there's no place like that, and there'll never be.
Yeah, yeah.
You
The
know, like I
book.
said, I was blessed, and I was put into a specific path to be able to take part, and and be the one, someone, you know, to do that.
Yeah.
Very,
Um,
very blessed.
yeah, that is a blessing. Thank you, Juice Radio. Shout out to you. Thank you for being here. She said hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, so I just so I get the passion, the community effort, but I just want to know like how the payment system works when you have these, when you have creatives and to do it that you do. I've always been curious about how, how does the pay gets dispersed, how does that work?
Well, again, in that situation that I was in, I was very, very blessed. And this is the thing, like I learned, like right now inside the what I would say maybe people would call the industry, or like or the community. I feel like there's a lot of I don't I'm not saying this is not to anyone in particular, nobody specific, but I feel like there's a lot of like, as we get older, it's like someone says something to me and they're like, yo, I'm too old to be making new friends now. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh, yeah.
snakes are everywhere. And it's like at this point, you just gotta know the difference between the pet snake and the poisonous one.
Mm,
And it's crazy. And I feel like there's a lot of backbiting, a lot of cutthroat, a lot of people stepping on your toes, and and a lot of lowballing where like it's new people that want to be down so bad. Um, I don't think everyone. There's a small few that really know the value. Cause like all this, I'm telling you, so I start DJing at probably like 11. I got good at like 10, maybe 11, and then got good by the time I was 12. So this year and this month I'll be 42, so that's over 30 years, and I started at 15, so it's over 25 years
yes,
professional,
yes,
and I still
yes,
young, you know what I mean, and I take care
yes.
of myself, and I go out there and I DJ, and these 20 some year old people, they think I'm their age, you know what I'm saying.
Mhm, mhm.
I've been DJing longer than you've been alive, and I'm saying that the most humble as possible.
No, no, right, right.
What I'm saying is people don't know the difference between a 2 year DJ and a 30-year DJ, and I think most people don't care, because if they could get you into their spot and they can say, "Well, I got what's the difference between these two DJs?" They All we want is to people to go to the bar and spend their money at the bar. So as long as there's music, it's good. So if this guy wants to charge me 250, 300
Mm,
dollars, and then this guy says he'll do it for 150, I'm gonna go with the 150 guy. And then guess what happens when you got 2 dozen
mhm.
2 year DJs that do it for $150?
Right, right.
So it devalues,
Your worth. Yeah. Mhm.
unless you're a DJ Premier, a Diamond D, a Static Selector, a Large Professor, Boogie Blind. Forgive me if I forget any names, but names that are known and out there and active, you're not gonna get anything higher unless you're dealing with people. And this is what I feel like the challenge and the experiences now, being paid as a creative. There's always somebody that wants to do it for lower, somebody who wants to lowball you, pay you less, and
Mhm.
somebody that has a bigger name that will get booked, but they rightfully put the work in to build their brand and their name, and they're not so much the underdog. So they're gonna be
Right, right.
more of a value and an asset because they're seen on social media and they have a legacy behind them. So the place will pay for that.
Got you.
And if the DJing is not the best, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I say. I'm not talking about anyone in particular, but you know what I'm saying? Like that's how it is. And like My experience early on, being able to be 15 years old and play at the Empire, they wanted me to play, and I was not old enough to play legally. So the owners of the place said that they'll pay me under the table, the going rate at the time, until I reached the age where I could get the proper working paper to be paid on the books. And I came up around the people who not only taught me the right way, the right skill sets, but I didn't have to worry about being taken advantage of. They did the right.
Good. I was thinking about that, and I'm so glad that you said that. Yes. And so, how did you stay in this business for as long as you have? And you mentioned in comparison to those coming up behind you that charges less, and how do you stay relevant and maintain your worth? Know your worth, and how do you still maintain work? How do you maintain gigs despite the comparison in rates and the comparison in what other DJs are willing to do and for the amount or on what they charge for?
Well, I don't. The thing is that I don't totally depend on it, so
Got you.
I'm not gonna jump in the corner of the ring with a flying elbow, a razor blade trying to slice everybody in the same. You know what I'm saying? For the little couple dollars.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? When it comes to that, if it gets to that point, you can have it.
Got it.
Not that, you know what? Because that's not where I come from. That's not where this originates and emanates out of me. That's not the intention or the purpose. For me, it's um really connecting with the crowd, being able to share my gift with other people, and for us to be able to have an experience and take part in what I love. And when I can offer that and give it to people, and then I can see people lose it,
Mm.
my job.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I've played in notable places for friends who either, have the party or promote it. And I've even refused the money.
Mm.
Please take it. They put it in my pocket. They put it in my bag. You know what I mean? Because to me, it's not about that. You know, it's like whatever. I
Right.
had a good time, and this is what I came to do. I shut it down, and I could go home. I felt satisfied and fulfilled that people had a great time. Like, there's certain events that I played last year that people still talk about and come to me like, yo, the last time that I went was the last time that I really had a good time is when I went to you and you DJ'd and I came to that event. It's like, wow, I didn't go to anything at all this whole year, 2025.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people tell me that, and it's not even about the kudos or nothing like that, but I know because I come from a place where, and this another thing, the skating rink, the guys that I heard play, they was some of the original DJs, like in the time when DJing. They came from a time before hip hop.
Mm.
They were playing all the stuff, all the great music, and the roller rink has a certain type of vibe, energy, and the spirit
Yes.
that once the DJ gets it going, it comes over
Yes.
the whole
Because that's
place.
you setting the foundation. That's the foundation
It
of the
comes
whole
the
thing.
spirit,
Yeah.
spirit comes over the whole place, and
Yes.
that's what I aim to do whenever I get on deck, and I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen. And you have to really control that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, crowd control. If you have a microphone, you interacting with them. Sometimes it's not necessary. You just play the right records in the right succession, with the right timing. Once people get one or two drinks, and then they start
Yeah.
getting,
True.
and the whole energy just starts to. It's like a spirit. It just takes over the whole place, and everyone gets pulled into it, and it's like
Yes.
their mind, and not in a bad way, but it's like they're not thinking about their problems. They stop really talking, and they just start communicating in other ways, dancing, and you know what I mean. And really, really, only really, really skilled DJs, seasoned veterans know what that's about. So that's what I aim to do whenever I play. And yeah.
Wow. That's
So
amazing.
yeah, so that's why I said that's a level of fulfillment for me. You know,
Yes.
it is
Yes, I
really
can see that.
it is really amazing. It actually is to be
Mhm.
part of that and to orchestrate that and to give that to other people. So for me, it's not really about the money. Like, yes, I could make $500 a gig, and I have made 500, 800, $1,000 a gig. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you got to bring your own equipment. But I don't just look for a cash grab. I got to know who I'm playing for. Most times I play for friends, and I'll do, I'm not a wedding DJ, but I played a wedding. But I played a wedding where I was the best man. I was the best man, and then I came and
And
DJ.
you were and the DJ.
That,
Wow.
that was my wedding gift. They wanted to pay me. I refused the money. For
Oh,
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
I
that's
love
so dope.
this is my joy. You know what I'm saying? And I work
Yes.
a job and I work a day job where I'm compensated well and I don't have to worry about money. I
Right.
do what I want on my own terms.
Yes, and that's the perfect segue into that. But I do appreciate you sharing that, Tone, because it's like I said, that nostalgia thing again, just the crowd coming together all because of music. Like I said, music is the foundation and you're providing that. So I'm wondering, like, I know that were there times when it went crazy, that the fight broke out or anything like that, while you were
Empire,
doing.
yeah. I mean, the Empire is notorious. Like, there's videos online. I mean, they don't show violence or nothing like that, but there's people that tell the stories. Like, the Empire was just, like I said, the it's a massive amount of people in an urban area. You're talking about minimum 500 to 800 people a session. We talking about, on a nice winter weekend where it's cold and people want to look to do something inside. The Empire was the place to go. You got 1,800, 2,000, 2,200 people in a building. What do you think? Everybody from this projects and every projects is coming
Yeah. Mm,
swarms. This gang, this from this neighborhood, and it was like a fashion show. Everybody wearing their best
yes.
jackets, their best sneakers, and people getting robbed, guns going off. I was stabbed in there. I
Mm,
like I was young, I'm probably like 16. So,
mm.
like just a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of things. Yeah, yes, not only fights, other things. And then some of that stuff I don't even want to talk about.
Right, right.
It's just some of it is sad, it's senseless.
Yeah, yeah, I know, and I can understand that, and it's so unfortunate that we can't even come together and just have fun
Yeah, I mean, I,
without something.
I think it's just part of it.
It is
There's a lot of great stuff, a lot of good memories, a lot of nostalgia.
right.
Like I said, community. The skating rink was a place like a church, if I could think about it. Like, you go and people sing and they, what I mean, and they have a good time and they come and they meet and it's a regular thing, a community. But then there was, some energies, not good energy, come into the place, into the building, and
Yeah, and that's the problem there, and that's the problem. But I know that just based off of those experiences, I know now, just throughout the time that you've been doing this, I know you know how to be more safer, more aware. Those are
Oh,
teachable moments.
yeah, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
I- I'm a project baby, so
Yes.
my mom told me, mind your business, you live longer. So
Mhm. Yeah,
over
drink your water, mind your business, yep.
there was always something going on. There was always something happening. I'm talking about I seen it all of it. Stabbings, shootings, robberies, all that right in front of my face as a child, dead body in the lobby, all that. You
Mm,
but you know, and I think that is not a normal thing, but in the time it was normalized in a way where what I'm saying, where I had to actually go to therapy, like not because of that, but some other stuff, and I went and talked, and they asked me about my upbringing and all these different things that I was exposed to, just to get a idea of where I come from, and they told me that though this stuff is traumatizing. You know, I didn't think about it
yes.
normalized, even though it's not normal. You know, but then I had to learn that, and then that's where, like, I don't know. They said my threshold for danger is like very different. Like, I hear gunshots, I don't duck, I don't run, I just look at,
Mm,
like, you know what I mean. I know what it is, and I know
mm,
if I know that if I hear it over there, I mean, of course, a bullet don't never got no name on it or nothing like that. But if I hear it over there, I'm not walking that direction.
Right, right.
I turn the corner and be like, "Yo, it's time to go. Like, let's get out of here."
So yeah, you became immune to.
Kind of like, yeah, my threshold for danger is like, unless I see something like right in front of my face, I don't feel like there's too much of danger because in the environment that happens normal.
Right, right.
Now you hear gunshots out the window.
And so, and that's the thing too, because not only are you exposed to it, like as far as your career in DJing in the music arena, but then you also on the streets when it comes to doing what you do now. So it's just you're still getting a sense of exposure to a lot of these different things, different
Yeah,
activity,
I
different
mean,
people.
it's New York City. You know what I'm saying? Anything
Yeah,
can happen anywhere, anytime. I tend to stay away from the local areas. I mean, you kind of like learn how to navigate and where to go and where not to go, and not to say that I avoid any place, but I mean, I'm not gonna like DJ bring all my equipment outside the Brownsville projects and do something. You know what I mean? I'm definitely not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But
Of course.
I mean, who knows? You know, maybe it gets to a level where, you know what I'm saying, I gotta come to community and get back, and I don't mind doing that. And maybe there's the proper how do you say, the proper safety, you know what I'm saying, where there's
Measures.
permits involved and police and all that, and that's cool. Like, yeah, we're gonna come and throw a big thing for the community, and yes, I'm not opposed to that, you know what I'm saying, but I'm not gonna do that now, like, you know what I'm saying.
No, I don't blame you.
I tend to
I-
go. I tend to go and stay in places where, like, you know, I DJ a lot in like Williamsburg and the Lower East Side and like Soho. You know what I mean? Out in these places where I'm bringing the flavor, like what I do, where I come from, to an elevated experience and to different crowds to be able to experience.
Yes, and I don't blame you for that. That's the smart move to make. But I do want to get more into your regular occupation. So I want to get more into that part. It's like I said, I want to kind of what I want to say. I want to add the spotlight to that part. Because like I said, you have to work a regular job as well because you need you have to have benefits. You got to have health care. You got to have 401k. You got to have a steady
Form
means to an end. Yeah. So how did you get into the sanitation department?
Well, I was probably by like around the time that the Empire was closing, maybe like 20, about like 21, 22. And my mom, she used to read a paper called The Chief.
Yep. Hmm.
And I think you know, back then, like now you do online, you apply online and stuff like that to take the test. But I think it came out in the back of the, my mom cut it out and was like, fill this out. So I filled the form out, and I think it was like one was for the Department of Sanitation and the other one was for the MTA as a track worker, which I worked both the jobs. I was a track worker first.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
I was a track worker for really about like 8 months before sanitation called. But sanitation had called me so many times. I just had a couple arrests on my record, different things that I needed to, like, you know, license was suspended.
Okay. You had to clean that up.
I was, yeah, I was young and just hanging around the wrong people, doing the wrong things, and you know, uh, it kind of affected my, I guess, my
Em-
early
Employment opportunities.
my early opportunities. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I got in, but MTA helped me because it wasn't a requirement to have the license, so I was able to get a good job that I could then pay off the license what I owed on the
Got
license.
it. Got it.
Sanitation came calling, you know, and I'll be honest with you, I became sanitation worker like in my late 20s. So it's around the time that I had my daughter. I went to, so out of high school, out of college, I drop out of college, then the Empire closes, and I'm like, yo, I don't know what to do next because I just spent uh, a good part of my adolescence and young adulthood having a career base
Hmm. Hmm.
and direction. You know what I mean? Like no matter if there was school, like I saw the school as a plan B,
Got it.
and the DJing was a plan A, and that's, you know, at that time, maybe it's not so realistic, but at that
Right, because
time,
that was your primary focus at the time. I get it.
yes, yes, you know what I mean. I got through the school, and when I could do away with the school, I because I already managed to carve a space for myself, and then it it just stopped. So my next step was I enrolled at the Institute of Audio Research, IAR, which is a school for audio engineering and music production.
Okay.
By that time, I had already like bought an MPC. It was like learning how to operate. At this time, there was no YouTube, so I didn't have a manual or anything. I got to use some money I could pay, and I taught myself over like 2 years how to operate it. And in the beginning, the beats were kind of cheesy a little bit, but I knew how to like cut and chop what I wanted. I just had to learn how to program drums and learn a little bit about like music theory and root notes and bass and keyboards. And you know I- over time it developed, but I learned technical skills going to the trade school,
Mm.
and that helped me advance and develop my sound as a producer. And at this time, I would say it's 2007, then began the transition into from a DJ to a producer, and I took everything that I learned as a DJ and all my experience and my new music, the knowledge base of music, and applied that into music production. And yeah, I'd like make my own music, but I didn't have a producer that took me seriously. So I had to learn how to make my own beats, and that's how I got good as a producer. And then when I graduated out of the school, I then got internships and jobs at CBS Radio, which
Okay.
got me closer to seeing what DJs do, I guess on a commercial level in radio. And I learned it wasn't something for me. Like you listen to the radio and see, it's like, not to be blasphemous or nothing, but they call it like the voice of God. You don't know who these people are, but they just kind of commanding
Mm.
and have these personalities, and
Yeah,
they
I totally understand. I totally get
but
it.
but then you get closer and you see what the business is and the politics, and you see who these people are, and it's like like it could be disappointing in some ways, and learn you begin to deal with all different type of stuff, you know what I'm saying, in the corporate world that we deal with, where you're marginalized and you looked over, no matter how much work you do, how much talent you have, and they know it and they can see it, but they give it to, there's a lot of nepotism, and you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. And it could be hard for us to really advance
Got
when
it.
so then I left out the record, the radio station, and went to work at Universal. One of my friends was a manager for Neo, invited me over to come work with them. And then so I had experience at the label, becoming familiarized with how they put together a project and things like that, which was also up my alley, being that I was a aspiring producer. I got to some opportunities to be in the studio and see the real producers produce the records like a fly on the wall. You
Got
know,
it.
some of my, you know, I would say like, heroes, celebrities that we all know and stuff like that. I just see them and get to meet them, and you know, it was like an experience for me. Just to see the inner workings and the background of that high level of talent, what it goes into like crafting those records, from the songwriting process, the vocal production process, the producers and the engineers, the production process, the song production process, and the mixing and mastering, all the levels and stages. It was now what I learned in school, and the skill set of the technical school, the technical aspect. I saw it in real time.
Right.
It translated, like, what I'm saying, like seeing Neo cut records,
Mm.
other people like, Mary J. Blige and other people that be around, and some people that he would write records for and things like that, like I said, a fly on the wall, but it kind of an experience that I could then apply to my own um, production and the value of my production. Um, and so Sanitation came calling, and I was having my daughter around that time.
Mhm.
She we were expecting her, and I told myself, I said, you know what? I tried all these things, and it was great to have these experiences, but thinking back like a kid, like how do I get all these things that I want to get? And I looked at all the, the older guys at the time that had, you know, looked like they had the money to, what I'm saying, they had the cars, they had the jewelry, and this is how you support a family. So now in my mind, I'm like, yo, I've done a lot of great and amazing things, but um, nothing seemed sustainable,
Got you.
like on a creative aspect. And also too, I kind of forgot to mention that before the Empire closed, they did the film Roll Bounce, which I was like called and asked to be a part of, which I did the stunts and choreography with Bill Butler.
Really?
Bill Butler, who's the godfather of roller disco. The Empire is the birthplace of roller disco. So like I said, a
What?
very place
Wow. So
had
wait
a
a minute. So hold on. Don't gloss over that tone. So choreography. For which group? Was it for the Bow Wow team or for Wesley Jonathan? Like who did you choreograph for?
did all the choreography together.
All of it.
Yes, but I was a stunt double on Bow Wow's team, on the main team, the Garden Boys.
The Garden Boys. You
I
was
I,
some.
I, I was a stunt double for Rick Gonzalez, who was the character Naps, who couldn't skate.
Oh, so
Yes,
which one was okay? So draw my memory. Which one was
the
that?
one with the afro. He was like, he was always at the back of the line.
Got you. Okay.
Yes, so
Okay.
I was his specific stunt double, but
Wow.
we taught all of them. We worked with them on a daily basis, like probably I would say like 6 weeks to 2 months before the filming started. We would go to that was our
Wow. That is crazy.
and we trained all of the actors, Bow Wow, everyone. We trained them on all. We developed the choreography. Mike Johnson, Bill Butler, Tyrone Dixon, who was more of a producer, but he was like filming all that
Mhm.
stuff. And you know, me, Mike, Bill, and they had a dance choreographer. We come together, put the moves, and she do the hand movements. So a lot of what you see, if you go back and watch the movie, you see all the main actors when they show the face shots, they're doing all the hand movements.
Yes.
That,
Yes.
that comes from the dance choreographer where she filmed, she choreographed those movements. But we did a lot of the skating, the skate choreography.
Got it. Got
All
it.
it's all choreography together because you do all of these moves. They have hand movements and feet movements, but you'll notice that they did it very good too, though. But
Right.
notice that when you look at the cuts, there's foot movement, and
Right.
go up to the top movement where you don't really see their feet, but you see them throwing
Right.
their hands like this, opening their arms, and what I'm saying. So they cut it and did editing very well. But the way it would work is that we were dressed up just like them, a stunt double team. We do the choreography, and they take full length body shots of us, but mostly catching the sides or the back of us and the feet, our feet specifically.
Wow.
They would then the acting team, the A team, the actors would
Mhm.
then do the choreography the best
Mhm.
they could, mostly the hand motions. Some of them could keep,
Right.
but they wouldn't focus on their feet.
Wow. That's amazing. Thank you for
So
sharing that.
mesh those two
Wow.
together to, like, make them look as they were pro skaters and all that.
Wow. And they did a good job. Like you said, they did a good job editing because not everyone can really master that. Because you could, some movies you can really tell the
Yeah.
difference, but in that, it just flows so well.
Well, I think a lot of that I would credit Tyrone Dixon for that, because he had a documentary called Eight Wheels of Soul Brother Music, where he kind of like traveled around the country and did his homework on like all the different styles and stuff. And he's also a roller skater himself, as well as a film maker,
Mhm.
director, and a professor. He's a
Got it.
doctor, I believe. And uh, he was the one who understood how all of this needed to happen, the people that needed to be involved, and how it should be translated.
Yeah. So let me ask you, Tone, because I know because I said, say you always get back into the creative side. So I see that. I see what you be doing. Because I mean, because I know, because I just love it. I love to hear people speak so much about what they love to do. I just, so I have no problem with that. But I really want to get more into your life. The steady flow of life when you, like I said, with the you was getting more into the sanitation, then you go right
Yeah,
back into the music, then you get
like
to the sanitation, and then you go back into the music again.
so yeah, so that's
Yeah.
kind of complete. Like there was a slew of other things that I did with skating,
Right.
time with DJing. With my DJing was my steady gig, but I would get these other little gigs with the skating, and then after the rink closed, like I said, I went to trade school and I worked in different compartments of the industry, from radio to the record label. And but like I said, nothing was stable enough with a daughter on the way for that I saw would be able uh,
Mm-hmm. To
to,
sustain you. Mm-hmm.
yes, and to raise a family. So I was getting the call for these, city jobs and municipal, these opportunities. And I really just had to sit down and say, I've been part of a lot of great things and I've done a lot of fun things. But now I wholeheartedly, I think, like, with my daughter coming, I made a decision that I would sacrifice my dreams, my goals and my dreams to do the right thing and be a responsible father and a man. And I kind of like went into the municipal um, industry just wholeheartedly, with my heart open, just ready to just leave it behind me and let it go, let it all go.
Mm.
And I worked the job, but I I never realized that accepting this opportunity really would open the door further, because I made, I don't want to say, I mean, I'm not rich, but I made more money than I thought, and I was able to invest into myself, and I would then continually, just consistently buy myself a little piece of equipment, buy it day.
Got it.
And I started to acquire all the things that I couldn't when I was working in the creative realm. It was always like hand to mouth, enough to get on, a Metro card, some food to eat, and a couple bucks to maybe go on a date or something like that, you know. But never enough to buy myself equipment, or to invest into too much more than just, like I said, hand to mouth. And
Right, right. Just paycheck to paycheck.
working in sanitation really allowed me to take care of my daughter, my family, and to invest into myself and the things that I want to do to another level. And
Yep. So
about 3 years in,
okay.
they had a designer named Heron Preston, who was part of Kanye West design team,
Mm,
along with Virgil Abloh. Um, but Heron Preston got, I guess, okay to do a collaboration with the Department of Sanitation, and I was invited by the union. They were looking for workers to come and represent, at the. It was a Fashion Week event where they held it at a uh, new structure that they built, a sanitation salt pile dome along the West
mm.
Highway, and so they had, like, the the uniforms up on the wall, and the salt pile was open. You could see it, and they were like the big FEL, like the tractors that pick up the salt, like parked there, and there was
Wow.
a mixture of, the fashion people, uh, this, I would say, the like high ranking supervision chiefs and people of that sort, at that
Hmm.
level,
Hmm.
and then maybe a handful of workers, and I just happened to be one of those workers. But
Wow.
leading up to that, I had designed my own. I mean, mostly I did a lot of this stuff too. Like, I designed my own uniform to wear to the event. It's like a one of one vintage sanitation, or vintage style sanitation bomber jacket. It doesn't exist.
Mm.
Stuff that
Wow.
I thought was cool, and like some like pants, uniform pants that I cut up that I couldn't wear because they had an orange strip on the side, but I cut them and did like some motocross style on the front, and I showed up wearing that, and people were looking. And then somebody approached me and was like, "Hey, is this part of the collection?" I'm like, "No, this is mine." Like they're like, "Oh, where'd you get it from? Is this vintage?" I'm like, "No, I made it." It was they're like, "Really?" There's like, "You Aaron?" I'm like, "No." They like, "Oh, you should meet him. Come." And at the moment that they introduced me to him, he was like, "Yeah, I saw your jacket." Then Virgil comes in, and then like I had no idea that there was all these media people, people from Vogue magazine were there taking photos, I guess for like online. And so Virgil comes in. He was becoming a big deal at that time with his label Off White, his fashion label, and before he even became the head of Louis Vuitton. And
Wow.
started to take pictures, and they asked me to step to the side, took a picture of of us, everyone by themselves. I went home like nothing. And then like about a month later, the commissioner's office is calling me. I thought I was in trouble. Phone on them. I was like, "What is this about? Why are you calling my phone? How did you get my number?" Like they're like, "Whoa, whoa, hold on. You went to a fashion show like last month." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." They're like, "Well, we want to know if you be part of a photo shoot." And at first, it didn't really click to me. So I was just like, you know, and to be honest with you, at that moment when it was happening, my daughter and her sister, they were. I had gotten this gig to do for the kids to do the troll movies.
uh,
Uh, but they dressed up 34th Street Macy's, with the window display for the Trolls.
yes.
Justin Timberlake came to speak because the movie was coming out and the kids were skating around and it was like a live performance. So we kind of like helped, facilitate that and everything like that. And they called me in the middle of this, and I'm like, I'm busy, like not. I was already
Yeah,
on
you right.
when they like the commissioner's office is calling my phone. Like, I'm a sanitation worker. I'm the bottom of the bottom. Like, what's going? What?
Like, what's this all about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't even really have an interest. Then they tell me a photo shoot. I'm like, this is a I'm not. It's not. I don't work in the fashion industry. You know what I'm saying? I pick up garbage. You know, photo shoot. And not to be ignorant, but it didn't really click.
Right. Understand your mindset. You're like, okay, like what? I mean, what is really going on? Like,
Yeah,
how
like
did we
what?
like reaching out to me of all people? Like, what is going
Right.
on? But you never know who's watching.
Exactly. So and this is so then they call me back. They call me back before I can even call them back. And I say, yeah, they're like, well, we'd like you to be part of a photo shoot. I'm like, okay. I was like, you just let me know when the time is. They gave me the date, and I told them, I said, I already booked tickets to Puerto Rico, so I'm not sure if I could do it. I'll let you know. I'll think about it. You get the specific date, and if it's not falling on like when I gotta fly out, then I'll do it. And then call me back in like 10 minutes. Said the lady at the commissioner's office said, "Mr. Camacho, I don't know if you know who Anna Wintour is." I
You
said,
better know.
"Yeah, that's the lady that sits in front of all the fashion shows with Kim Kardashian and Rihanna." And they like, "Yeah,
Oh,
she's the chief editor of Vogue." I said, "Yeah, The Devil Wears Prada." She's like, "Yes, they made the movie The Devil Wears Prada."
yes, yes, based on her.
She said, "Well, after the show, there were her workers that came, her photographers that came, took pictures of everyone at the show. She went through the photos for new things to, I guess, promote inside of the magazine, and they showed her the photos, the stack of photos at the event, and she stopped at your photo and she asked who you were, and they found out who you were, and they said that you're a sanitation worker, and she said to find you that they were going to use you as a model in the editorial, uh,
Wow.
the workers for sanitation with the line that they want to highlight that Harry Preston did. So she's like, it's not like we can replace you with someone else. So we're not telling you that it's not wrong if you didn't like if you decline, but I just want you to know it looked bad on you and the department really because we can't just produce another you. And I'm not sure if you know but this could really change your life and be a great opportunity for you.
Mm.
So I went to think about like, I went to look at my ticket, and I moved it a day over, and I went and did the shoot. And I went into it. I wouldn't say skeptical, like, but maybe just realistic, because I already at that point have been through so many things. So I told you, I've been on TV commercials, I've been in films and different things, and sometimes things don't pan out. People talk a lot about
Right. True.
what they do, and my mom was always a person like, show me. I believe it when I see it. So I mean, even up to when I went and did the photo shoot, it was really cool. I met really great people high up in the industry, in the fashion world, different kind of models, and the people were very nice. Um, no, sorry. Um,
Somebody
uh,
asking for change.
no, it wasn't that. It
Oh.
was some girl. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, flashback. But go
Yeah,
ahead, go ahead.
I met some really nice people in that, and I was like, it was a cool experience to have the shoot. It was unlike anything that I've ever been involved in, like a high level fashion shoot. It was like what it looks like on TV and stuff like that, and it was very, um, I don't know, maybe weird is the word, but not really. Like the people weren't weird. It was like all of this, like they want to take you to hair, and they did my hair, and then they put a hat on my head, and it was like they spent time like doing my hair, and then put a hat on my head, and they wanted to put makeup, and I told them no, and then they like dressed me, and they had like 16 different combinations of clothing just to pick one.
Right, right.
Not even a girl. There was a girl in it, and they had to do her hair and spend more time.
Right, right.
All of this stuff, and it took hours. I'm talking about we had to take a break from doing all that stuff, and we ate food. You know what I mean? And then we finally get into the photo studio, and like they set us up, and they turn the lights on, and the photographer comes in, and they like whisper to each other, and it's like a Enos and Vinud. You can check them out. They're like a husband and wife photography, like a couple, a duo. But I guess like Vinud was like shooting, or Inez was, and one of them whispered, and then it was like clack, 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 like 30 seconds of them shooting, and then the next thing I hear is just this like clap, like people clapping, and everybody's clapping in the room, and that was it. It was all these hours for like this 30
Mhm.
seconds of like this expert level mastery photography, I guess. And the lady comes over to me, Inez, and I guess I was just kind of stunned that it was over with that fast, and everybody was clapping, and Inez grabbed me by the face and kissed me, and she was like, "Oh, you were amazing." I was like, "Oh wow!" Like I said, I was like really confused. It was weird in a way where like the people were very nice, but I had no idea it would be like 4 hours of
Yes, I mean,
prep,
that is so impactful.
but yeah, for 30 seconds, and then I just stood
Mhm.
still and looked at the camera, and she was like, "You were amazing!" Like so, I was like, "Wow!" And then after that, I just kind of left a little stunned and like confused. And I was like, okay, you know, and then so this was probably like in October, and I went back to work daily like nothing. Went on my vacation right after that, came back to work, and I go to a Christmas party at my job, and one of the people tell me, they're like, "Yo, did you see the magazine?" And I'm like, "What magazine?" They're like, "You in the magazine?"
Wow, that's some
I
wow,
know.
that's some
I
sleep.
ran out of the party to the closest newsstand,
Newsstand,
and
yeah.
picked it up, and it was there, and I was like, "What?" Like, wow. And then I just bought all the magazines, and I went everywhere I could and bought all the magazines. And I don't know, it was just like this, like a surreal moment where like I went
Of
back
course.
to, and one of the guys tell me like, "Yo, I'm proud of you, man." And I just I it didn't really translate, because I pick up bags of garbage. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not trying to downplay the job, but it's like
Right,
it's
right.
very
But it's
routine.
just surreal. I get what you're
Yeah,
saying. Like, it went from that to just blow up
yeah,
situation, within a short period of time.
right. And then so he tells me, he's like, yo, you know, you really put on and you represent for us. You know what I'm saying? Being that you even come from this garage and you in there, he said, let me tell you something. He had the magazine. He asked me to sign it too. One of
Wow.
he was like, let me tell you something. He said, this morning, Oprah, Oprah opened the magazine and saw you and read about you in the Department of Sanitation. This morning, Beyonce opened the Vogue magazine and saw you representing for us. This morning, Michelle Obama opened the Vogue magazine and saw you representing Department of Sanitation.
You see why I reached out to you?
Yeah,
You
so
see?
it didn't really.
Hmm.
This guy got like 15 years in the job. You know what I'm saying? I'm 3 years in. You know, but I'm like, wow. He kind of like that kind of like opened and like I said, exploded my mind at that time. Like I didn't really think about it, how far that reach was, and even after that, it kind of put me in the lane where people recognize me. So I happened to be hanging out, you know, and then be getting back into DJing and hanging out downtown in Soho where the fashion people are. When Heron run,
Hmm.
yo,
Hmm.
Tony, what's up? You know what I'm saying? And then bring me to hang out with Virgil when he was DJing for Travis Scott. Again, like they're fashion, but music and fashion goes hand in
Yes, it's full circle. Yes, full
hand.
circle.
So it's all culture, you know what I'm saying? But
Yes.
all of this while I'm working my day job. Every day I wake up at 5 in the morning, get to work for 6, you know, doing the route. And you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Take me there, Antonia. Get more into that. I want to hear how you balance that between your, your craft, what you do as a creative, and what you do as a sanitation technician. Take me through a day in the life of that. I want to get more into that part.
Well, every day I wake up about 5:15. I get to work for 6. I do a route daily. Um, I walk about, I'll say 9,500 to like 11,500 steps a day.
Ooh,
Um,
ugh.
when I worked in Manhattan, I would lift anywhere from 12 to 15 tons a day, which is 24,000 to 30,000 pounds a day of garbage to fill a truck. Um, Now in Brooklyn, it's a little less. I'll say we do about 8 to 10 tons, which is about 16,000 to like 20,000 pounds of garbage daily. Um, but once I get that done and I get it out the way, the rest of the time is mine, which I like to use to rest because any given time I could be invited to, you know, a networking event. You know, I just went to like 2 days ago to a Plains Rock Nation event with tastemakers. Um, I get invited to other places to play.
So let me ask you, where do the garbage go? Where do I take the garbage to?
There's facilities, what they call transfer stations or dumps. You know, depends on the commodity. There's, you know, trash, garbage, household refuse, which is called, and then there's, you know, we know the recycle program where we have metal, plastic, glass. That's on, you know, that's usually in one side of a truck, and they have like a split body truck, and then the other side would be paper, just like all the cardboard stuff. And then recently, in the last few years, they've implemented organics, which is any kind of food scraps
Hmm.
or any
Compost.
kind of cardboard soiled by food and or yard
Compost. Mm,
compost.
mm.
Exactly. And it'll be one side compost and one side household refuse, and you would go to a specific dump that takes those commodities.
How's all that sorted out? Because because normally, like, when you go to these dumpsters or trash, you take out the trash. It's all, all combined. So how does all that get sorted?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like there's specific trucks for specific commodities that go out, or like
Yeah,
it's
but sometimes not always separated. Like when people put out
yeah.
garbage, it's not always separated. Like, you have some neighborhoods, depends on the neighborhood. There's some neighborhoods that don't have like separate recycle bins and separate garbage. Everything is all together.
Oh, if it's all together, it's just called mixed, and that's thrown into household refuse. That goes to garbage.
Okay.
But the plant, because that's what everything used to be. It was just garbage. It was just one
Hmm.
commodity, household refuse, and the plan was to recycle,
Right.
more sustainable instead of being wasteful. So all those things, they started to implement those different programs. And yeah, so people are given directives on the initiative, where they're like, whether it's stickers that you can put onto your canister, or stuff, information you can look up online, or you can call 311. uh,
Mhm.
and it tells you, specifically gives you directions on what is considered a valid commodity to be put into one bag together.
Got it.
Yes.
And so, and you said you've been doing this for 3 years so far, right?
No, I did it 3 years when I got into
Oh, you at the
landscape.
time. Okay, at the time. Okay. Uh,
I'm 13 years in.
oh, you 13. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah. So that's you're considered what's it called? The top. What's it called?
I'm top paid. I'm
Top
vested.
paid. Yes. Yes.
Vested. Yes, I'm at
Yeah.
top pay. I hit top pay when I was 5.5 years.
Five. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like right now. This is 20 years, a 20-year gig. So they call it 20-year bid. So you know what I'm saying. I'm over the hill trying to get. You know, I don't know. Maybe I think I like my job working behind the truck, but I think in this next few years I really gotta give it some thought, and I think I may take the test to move up and become supervisor, superintendent, or something like that. All
Hmm.
of my peers and everyone that I came in the department with and came up around, whether they were whatever level they were, sanitation workers, then became supervisors. Now they're all becoming superintendents and chiefs. So they're high level people. And then if they were chiefs already, now they're like high level chiefs, 3-star chiefs, top people in the department. So I think I need to consider um,
Leveling up.
advancing and
Yeah.
elevating.
Hmm.
Maybe time. I mean, I could stay where I'm at. I'm fine where I'm at because I love my position.
Right.
Great to be outside, to drive a truck, to be, you know what I mean, in the community. Like I get an opportunity. Like if I want to go to another garage for the day and there's an opportunity to do that, I could do that. Breaks up the
It's
monotony.
flexibility. Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good. But also, what about I mean, about the horrible weather that you had to endure? How you deal with that?
I mean, it's been over a decade. I'm exposed at any time. So, um, you know, the hottest days that everybody wants to stay in the AC, I'm outside walking. I'm outside lifting, working physical labor for hours in the heat. The coldest days, when
Yeah.
everybody inside in the heat, I'm outside in the freezing cold, the wind, picking up garbage for hours every morning before the sun comes up. On the days that it rains and people want to stay inside and stay dry,
Mhm,
I'm
mhm.
outside. I can't use an umbrella. I get soaked to my socks and my drawers.
Mm.
I'm There's no hiding. I'm fully exposed, and you build a tolerance.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. That's why they call us New York's strongest.
Yes, absolutely. And I
Yeah,
just want to tip my hat off to you on that one. And that's why I said I really wanted to kind of dig a little deeper into that area of your working, that regular city job and the sanitation because it's very grueling. There's no sugarcoating that. It's very grueling, it's very tiresome. I know you had to endure, like you said, you're exposed and you're out there. You're
yeah.
putting yourself out there for us. So, and I just wanted, just thank you for that. I really appreciate all that you do. You may sometimes take it for granted, but it's not unnoticed. It's really not. So I just really appreciate that.
Thank,
You putting yourself in that grind and you still make the time to perfect your craft and do what you love. And you make time for how many children?
I have I have one, and I have one on the way.
Oh, congratulations. Oh, thank you so and then the fact that you do all of that, like I said, and make time to be a family man. So I want to just give you your I want to give you your
Thank
flowers. I want to definitely give you your flowers on that, you know? You know,
thank
gotta
you.
give you flowers. There you go.
Yeah. It's not easy, and like you said, thank you. I appreciate your thanks. And usually, it's, it's, 'people. It'd be like older folks who think about this kind of thing, and also maybe just people who are conscious of it. But it's very far, few and far in between. And they say that it's a thankless job, but we are compensated for what we do. A lot of times people turn their nose up at us,
Mhm.
um, you know,
I think it's kinda skip labor, that's kinda sexy to me. I mean, I've always thought that labor, men who do labor like that is sexy to me.
uniform. Yeah, I've heard
Yeah,
that.
uniform workers are very that's very appealing. It's very appealing to me. But let me ask you, Tone, how do you balance that as a family man? I wanna get more into that as well, like, as a family man, like, how do you balance that, How was that like for you?
With life, you know, everything has its own compartment. You know, I treat my day job. I don't want to make it sound like I give it the least amount. Like, how do you call that when where it's just like just getting by. I don't want to make it sound like that because I
So
already,
minimal.
yeah, the bare minimum. But I already know this is the job is like very easy. Like I do it on autopilot. It's pretty simple. We pick things up and we put them down, and the faster we do it, as long as we do it safely, the better. We get off the street. We get out of people's way, and guess what? I get out of my own way, and I'm able to then put time into myself, into my family. And then later on in the night, in the evening, maybe there's an opportunity for me to
To do what you love.
love, and and thankful and blessed that a lot of those times it comes with a reward.
Yes.
Sometimes monetary.
Yeah, so let me I'm having a little fun with you. Just quick, I like to, add a little, game time to this. Do a little this or that. I gotta get a little like I gotta give me a little segment design for this. But anyway, I just come up with random stuff and you have to choose one or the other. It could be anything, you know, but you have to choose one. You can't be both. Just one.
Okay.
All right. Producing or DJing? I know, I know.
I would say producing because I feel like maybe I don't need to explain it.
No, no, go ahead. No, if you want to, go ahead.
I feel like I can incorporate DJing, and I have learned to incorporate my DJ skill set into my production. And a lot of what I built in DJing, as far as like, which is a lot of people see the DJ playing the music, but I say that that's about 5% of what goes into DJing.
Mhm.
And the other 95% is a lot of studying, a lot of digging, a lot of time you take to go to the record shop, find the records, discover new records. And a lot of that is applied into production. So in producing, I would do a lot of the things that I enjoy about DJing. I would be able to apply that into production.
Got it.
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause it
And
it incorporates, right.
yes, incorporated into, and a lot of my early life was spent DJing. So I think production is just the next level.
Got it. Duly noted. Lisa or Stevie B?
Lisa and Cold Jam, I say that it gets a better response. And I
Okay,
actually say that, at my last gig for 4C. Wonder if I take you home, and even the young people, I play for a young crowd in their like early to like late 20s, and they knew the record and they were dancing, and so yeah,
okay, got it. Big Mac or Whopper?
I love the Whopper.
Oh, okay, okay. Let's see. The Roots or Tribe Called Quest?
Tribe, Q-Tip, the low
Mm,
end.
Yeah, I was just yeah, because I was just reading. He mentioned in an article that the production, the baseline of Award Tour was from Jade, The Walk Away. I was like, oh, okay. You
Like,
know, it makes sense.
wow, it's from Jay. Don't walk away.
Yeah, yeah. He said, yeah.
Wow,
Yep.
wow.
I was like, that makes sense, you know, when you think about it, you
You
know.
just blew my mind. And you know what? I love the Roots. I love the Roots, but
Yes.
Q-Tip, he's like the Mount Rushmore. They the ones that produce Illmatic. It's one of my favorite albums.
Yes. Okay. So I just had it. I just had it. Oh, okay. Shrimp and grits or fish and grits?
I like shrimp.
Shrimp and grits?
Yeah, I like shrimp.
Okay. Pizza or calzone?
Peace.
Oh, okay. See, good answer. Good answer. Um, which one you prefer? The New Jack Swing era or Bad Boy?
It depends on who I'm playing for.
Okay, but
Depends
no, but you gotta
on
what? You gotta
the
choose one.
crowd.
Just for this, choose one.
Me personally, I feel like New Jack Swing is more fun because it's like very danceable, and I feel like that's a lot of what's missing with today's generation. And even people in our generation, we lack the DJs and the people that can really make the people dance. And I think it goes back to the music, not only the music that's played, but how the music is played with the consistency. Like
Okay.
for someone to really like, I have all my New Jack Swing records together,
Mm,
and
okay.
when I incorporate that into my set, and I play a good 20-25 minutes of it, and there's like you get to get the vibe, and people start to dance with the moves, and like it evokes, and people invoke a certain type of energy and spirit.
Mm, good
Yeah,
answer. I like that. I like that. Crush Groove or Beat Street?
I don't know. I think B Street.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
not really like I was young when I saw the movies, and I've seen them over time, but
Right. Okay.
I say B Street. Yeah,
Oh, all right. Last one. Grandmaster D or Jam Master J?
Jam Master Jay.
Okay. No, that's just made me think of Grandmaster D, if you please. I just love that.
Yeah,
But
Jam
both of them, yeah, I like them.
Master Jay. He's the one who discovered 50 Cent, really,
Yes.
and
Hmm.
DMC, and yeah, I saw that as a kid.
Got it. Got it. But thank you so much for playing, Tone. I appreciate that. I love those answers too.
Thank you.
Did you have fun with it?
I did. That was actually a good quiz. That was.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So I got two more questions for you before we wrap up. All right, and I really appreciate time that you spent with me. I mean, it's been fun. It's been great. I've been enjoying all of the gems and all of the stories and all of the knowledge that you presented to me today and presented to us, the audience as well. I really appreciate all of it. You know,
Thank you.
I'm here for all of it. Yeah. So I always enjoy the answer that I get to these questions. So now, if you were to have five people at the seat of your table, dead or alive, who would they be and why?
Um, I would bring back my family, my mom, my brothers, both my brothers, and my aunt, and
Five people.
yeah, and a cousin of mine that died in the World Trade Center.
Okay, but you have to tell me why for each person. Tone.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's things like people take for granted. Um, I like all these things that I mentioned to you about my brother influencing me, and my mom raising me, and you know, us together.
Yeah.
Being able to be together. It's like the little things you know we can easily look over.
Oh, so you said your grandmother, your two brothers,
My mother, my two
your
brothers,
Your mother, your two brothers,
and uh, a cousin,
your
my aunt,
cousin, your aunt.
and a cousin that
Okay.
passed away in the World Trade Center. Yes.
Mm, got it. Okay. Now, who would get the big piece of chicken and why?
Oh, my brother Charles for sure.
Why?
Big boy,
He's a bit.
boy, big big boy.
Yeah, yeah. It's just the way to his stomach. He has to get the big piece. All right. So now this is a question that comes from that late James Lipton from inside the actor studio. So TV tone. When you enter into the pearly gates, what would you want God to say?
Welcome.
Mm, all right. I like that. Okay. Very good. Very good.
Simple, simple. Yeah, simple.
Well, all right. Yeah, I love it. I love it. So I really appreciate like I said, what you brought to us, what you brought to the table. Can you tell me you any final words for us?
Um, I would tell anybody, if you have a dream, just keep it in mind. Stick to your vision. It's never too late to start, or it's never too late to pick back up. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. Where there's a will, there's a way. Um, and whatever you do, just make sure you do what you love and love what you do.
Love what you do. Absolutely. And do you have anything coming? Anything else? Anything coming up?
Um, I actually do have 4C. You guys might want to check that out. Um, usually put it up on my stories. It'll be coming up in December.
Okay.
One once a month. I'm the resident for 4C sessions. And you can check them out at the number 4CEE 4C, and they like
Or
basically,
CEE.
yeah. So it's four, the number four, the letter CEE 4C.
Or C. Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
you can check them out. They're on YouTube and Instagram. That's their Instagram handle, and they're basically like I would say like a variety show, or like one of those like industry showcases they used to have back in the day, but it's like independent artists foresee themselves an independent team, and they're just basically highlighting artists kind of similar to what you do. So it's
Great, great.
a variety show where they do like a podcast style interview.
Oh, good. Okay.
I don't know if you ever heard of Tyler Walsh, um, dope social media influencer and interviewer.
Tyler Walsh.
Tyler Walsh, yes, he interviews a lot of upcoming and commercial artists on his platform. It's like very short style, quick interviews, but at 4C, he gets to open up and interview these up and coming artists, give them at least like a 10-minute interview. And then I DJ out in the main lounge. So
Oh,
the different artists, like their teams that come with them, and like people that come to support them, get to mix it up, and there's like a mixer. And then while they leave the studio, they set up for the band, and then everyone gets to go back into the studio and see the artist perform live. And then in between the different artist set, they'll come back out into the lounge, and I play another set.
wow. Okay.
So it's like a networking mixer,
Right, right.
a podcast style interview, and a live performance with the band by artists.
Nice. Okay,
And
so I'm definitely gonna have that.
yeah,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
you get to come see me DJ live.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm gonna have all that information in my description box. Make sure you check all of this out. Shout out to everyone, 4C, shout out to Tyler Walsh, shout out to all the artists out there that are putting in the work. They're actually putting in the work. So shout out to every last one of them. So and I thank you so much, Tone, again. And I hope that you come back again, whether it's doing an individual interview, or maybe I might come and I might ask you to join a panel, for something. You never know. I might just come and just reach out to you and say, I need you to join me on this panel discussion. So you never know.
For sure. You have my information. You can reach out anytime. And
Yes.
anybody that want to reach out to me uh, for any production service, any DJ service. You can easily find me on Instagram at
Mhm.
TV Tone Tone.
Yes. Yeah. Everything's gonna be in the description box. So yes, they know how to reach out to you. And I just really, really appreciate the time that you spent doing this. I mean, I know that there's so much that you share that everyone could just grab from, whatever aspect it is, whether your career in sanitation or your career in the business, in the music industry, fatherhood, your upbringing, just the Brooklyn vibe that you bring. I mean, it's just so much they could take from. So I just think thank you for sharing it. I
Thank
appreciate
you so
it.
Thank you so much. The interview was very thorough, and I had a great time talking to you. I had great questions, and I feel like we got into most of the core of
Yes, absolutely.
what makes me who I am today.
Yes, and once again, thank you so much for your service.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night. Peace,
All right.
guys.
Thanks. TV Tone, y'all. TV Tone, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. Thank you so much, my Boricua brother from the Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York. And so I thank you for those that came in. Shout out to Juice Radio. Please follow her channel, Juice Radio and Talk Show in the building. Thank you so much, Kimberly Black, for coming through. Thank you, Muriel Matthews. I appreciate you coming through, whether you're coming through on the live stream on the replay. Please make sure you watch this interview in full. But I'm gonna try to chop it up when I get a chance as well because I want you to get into all of what he has done and what he's going to do. And like I said, all of this information is going to be in the description box of this video as well. So please make sure you just I want to, like I said, bring more attention to those who serve in more ways than one, not just on the creative side, but just serve in our communities. And I know that he kind of, he was very modest about his job as a sanitation technician, but again, we don't want to take that for granted because I know I wouldn't want to do it. So there's just certain things that just not for you to do, but they go out there and they do, he's one of those that does what he has to do. So I just wanted to make sure that I bring a sense of diversity onto this platform as well. So I would really appreciate your support on that. And thank you so much for what you've been giving me so far. So please make sure that you stay tuned for, further content. My next interview would be on the 12th, on Wednesday, on the 12th. I'm going to be interviewing with Roland Rebel. I've had him on the platform a couple of times, but this is going to be like more of my in-depth interview with him on his career as a mental health counselor, his social media presence, as well as how he navigates um, through life, as a person with a disability. So I'm going to get more into that with him. So, like I said, on Wednesday, November 12th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be interviewing with a Roland Rebel. So make sure you look out for the flyer that will be put up in the next couple of days. So, again, thank you so much. And in the meantime, until we meet again,